All right, last video of the 5-speed swap. Got it on the lift, finally, so it's easier to get under. Let's see. It's the S10 Axle. It's from an S10 Blazer, 4-wheel drive. Exactly 60 inches wide, hub to hub. Or mounting surface to mounting surface, whatever. The U-bolts are 9/16 S10 extended U-bolts for a perfect fit to the axle, so it's not the 3-inch, it's where it's all hanging off the side. These are the custom spring perches by DC Fab. 36 bucks. He welded them up for me after they were bent right there. It's kind of hard to see, but 1/4 inch thick. Got those welded on. The original shock brackets, the original U-bolt, those that have these cars know, 49 to 54, the U-bolt goes up and then across the spring and back down this side. So when the U-bolts go up and over the axle now, gotta have a way to attach the shock bracket back. So we took, the guy whose shop I'm using, took that little tombstone welder right there and burned the holes bigger for the 9/16 bolt, because I guess it's 1/2-inch bolts on the factory ones. So I was able to bolt them back under there, and it's perfect. All right, got that on both sides, obviously. Driveshaft. It's actually a 57 Chevy driveshaft right here. It was 54 inches long. I had it cut down to 49 exactly, and I should have done 49.5 to 49 3/8. Before I go too far, the brake lines, I rebuilt the S10 brakes, of course, as those who watch my videos know. The brake lines here are the same exact brake lines that were on the torque tube axle. I just unscrewed them and put them on here. The only thing I had to do was adjust the angles of the fittings right here just a tiny bit. Brakes played out perfectly. Drive shaft going up here. Use the factory springs, of course, as you can see. I don't know if you can see or not, but I'm gonna do the suspension. I might do the Jimenez Brothers 2-link. I don't want a 4-link because I don't want to cut into my floor. Got the, hang on one second, let me see if I can turn the light on. All right, can't turn the light on once I'm in the camera. Got the Walton's cross member. Now the reason I went with Walton's, besides it being a little bit cheaper, and he advertises it's not made for a T5, and I'll show you why in a sec. Besides it being a little bit cheaper, it comes down below the frame rails as opposed to the Hot Rod Works that goes above the frame rails. But then you have to have these extension pieces that go to the K-member, which I didn't want. I just welded that up, so it might still be hot. That's why I haven't cleaned it off or anything yet. But I didn't want the extension pieces. The K-member comes directly to the Walton's cross member. Bolts in up at the top. On the top 2 holes, welds in along the bottom. The welds on this side look way better than the welds on the other side. I don't know why, but if I can focus. Anyway, it's got the 5 bolts on either side. It all lined up perfectly. Everything lined up exactly where it should be. Now on the Walton's website, he tells you to measure between the K-member, but the easiest way to do it is if your car came with a Power Glide or a 3-speed, if you have a 50 or 51. If you have the Power Glide, you have the wider measurement, or the more narrow measurement rather. If you have the 3-speed, you have the wider measurement. And that's what put the cross member exactly where it was supposed to be, because of course it was a Power Glide at one point. Got no speedometer, because it's electronic. So I'm either gonna buy a converter or I'm gonna find another trans, one of the two. But I like my gear ratio. I have the 72 overdrive and the 376 first. Everything lined up perfectly though. Let's see, it's dropout, of course. There is the bottom of the motor that I put in. Do yourselves a favor, change the rear freeze plug on the block before you put them in, because mine leaked. It didn't look like it was going to. Put it in, it was leaking everywhere. It's real crazy. So yeah, that's it. Let's see, what else? Here's the motor. I think that's all I have. And my dual exhaust pipes, of course. Done by B&M Automotive in West Virginia. $200. 2 full pipes, completely welded. And this dude's welds are ridiculous. Let me see if I can find one. Here's one. It's all beautiful. Can't see it, but it's perfect. So for $200 for both pipes, goes right under the oil pan. Tiny bit lower than I'd like it to go, but I don't want to heat the oil up with the exhaust either. So it's a trade-off, I suppose. Oh, new steering. Almost forgot about this. It's my new tie rods. That's new. This was all worn out. My steering is super tight now. And I have to get used to it because before it was extra loose. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna spray the welds with some undercoating and be on my way.